My friends, there comes a moment in life when you have to ask yourself, where is my energy going? Who am I spending it on? What am I giving my time, my mind, my heart to? And most importantly, is it serving me? Energy is the most valuable resource you have. It's not just about physical stamina, it's about the mental, emotional, and spiritual energy that shapes your life. Every thought you think, every action you take, every emotion you feel, it all requires energy. And the way you use that energy determines the quality of your life. Some people wake up every day feeling drained before the day even begins, not because they lack time, but because they are spending their energy in the wrong places. Think about the things that pull at you: negative thoughts, toxic relationships, worries about the past, fears about the future. Every moment you dwell on things that don't serve you, you are giving away your power. You are leaking energy into spaces that will never return it. When you waste your energy on things beyond your control, you have less of it for the things that truly matter. And if you don't take control of where your energy goes, the world will decide for you. Some people walk into a room and bring light with them. Others walk in and drain the room dry. That's the power of energy. Have you ever noticed how spending time with certain people lifts you up while others leave you feeling exhausted? That's no accident. Energy is contagious. When you surround yourself with negativity, it weighs you down. But when you place yourself in spaces that inspire and uplift you, your energy multiplies. You must guard your energy the way you guard your most precious possessions. Be mindful of who and what you give it to. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves access to you. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you are saying no to something that could empower you. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful ways to reclaim your energy. Your mind is the most powerful energy source you have. What you focus on expands. If you constantly focus on problems, you feed them energy. If you focus on solutions, you create new possibilities. The way you think shapes the way you feel, and the way you feel shapes the way you show up in the world. Protecting your mind means being intentional about what you consume, what you read, what you listen to, who you spend time with. Everything either fuels or depletes you. Your body holds energy too. The way you treat it affects the energy you have to give. Move it, nourish it, rest it. You can't expect to function at your best when you're running on empty. Sleep is not just rest, it's energy restoration. Food is not just fuel, it's energy transfer. Exercise is not just movement, it's energy circulation. When you care for your body, you create the energy you need to pursue your purpose. Emotional energy is just as powerful as physical energy. Holding on to anger, resentment, or regret is like carrying weights you don't need. Forgiveness is not about excusing what happened. It's about freeing up your energy so you can move forward. Joy, gratitude, and love are the highest forms of energy you can cultivate. The more you operate from a place of gratitude, the more energy you have to create a life that feels good to you. Energy flows where intention goes. If you want more out of life, you have to be mindful of where your energy is going. Stop giving your power away to things that don't nourish you. Be intentional, be selective, and most importantly, be aware. From the moment we are born, we are taught to look outside of ourselves for approval. As children, we seek praise from parents and teachers. As we grow older, we measure our worth by the reactions of friends, colleagues, and even strangers on the internet. We shape our actions, our words, and sometimes even our dreams around what we think will make others accept us. But the truth is, no amount of external validation will ever be enough if you don't validate yourself first. The need for validation is a trap. It keeps you in a cycle of constantly adjusting who you are to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You post a picture and wait for the likes. You make a decision and wait for approval. You hold back your truth because you're afraid of judgment. And in the process, you lose sight of who you really are. The more you depend on others to affirm your worth, the more power you give away. People's opinions are fleeting. One moment they love what you do, the next they criticize it. If you spend your life chasing approval, you will always be running, always adjusting, always bending to fit an image that was never truly yours. And the worst part, no matter how much validation you receive, it will never feel like enough, because the real issue isn't how others see you, it's how you see yourself. When you stop seeking validation, you step into a different kind of freedom. You begin to make choices that align with your values, not with what others expect of you. You start living in a way that feels right to you instead of performing for an invisible audience. You stop asking, will they like me, and start asking, do I like me? That shift changes everything. Approval from others is not a measure of your worth. Some people will understand you, some won't. Some will applaud you, some will criticize. But none of that defines you. What defines you is the way you show up for yourself. It's the way you trust your own decisions. It's the way you stand firm in who you are, even when no one is clapping. Breaking free from validation seeking requires courage. It means disappointing people who expect you to stay small. It means walking away from situations where you are not truly seen. It means risking judgment for the sake of your own authenticity. But the reward? The reward is peace. The reward is knowing that you are living a life that is yours, not a performance for someone else. Self-vigation is a practice. It means learning to trust your intuition, to celebrate your own victories, to affirm yourself even when no one else does. It means looking in the mirror and knowing deep down that you are enough, not because someone told you, but because you decided it for yourself. The more you practice self-acceptance, the less power outside opinions will have over you. You don't need permission to be who you are. You don't need approval to follow your path. You don't need validation to know that you are worthy. The moment you stop waiting for the world to affirm you is the moment you start fully living. Life is unpredictable. No matter how much you plan, how carefully you try to navigate each step, there will always be things that happen beyond your control. People will change. Circumstances will shift, and situations will unfold in ways you never expected. And the more you try to force things to go your way, the more frustrated, anxious, and exhausted you become. Holding on too tightly to what you cannot change is like trying to hold water in your hands. It will always slip through your fingers. Worry is a silent thief. It steals your peace, your joy, and your ability to be present in the moment. So much of our stress comes from obsessing over things that we have no power to fix. We replay past mistakes, hoping we can rewrite them. We overthink situations, trying to predict every possible outcome. We exhaust ourselves trying to make people behave the way we want them to. And in the end, none of it changes anything except our own well-being. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about understanding where your power truly lies. You cannot control how people treat you, but you can control how you respond. You cannot control every situation, but you can control how you show up in it. You cannot change the past, but you can decide how it shapes your future. Real power comes not from controlling everything, but from knowing what is and isn't yours to hold. Attachment creates suffering. The more tightly you cling to expectations, the more disappointment you invite into your life. You expect people to behave a certain way, and when they don't, you feel hurt. You expect life to unfold in a straight line, and when it takes a detour, you feel lost. But when you loosen your grip, when you allow life to flow instead of fighting against it, you create space for peace, for growth, for something new to emerge. Fear keeps us holding on. We convince ourselves that if we let go, we will lose control completely. But the truth is, control is often an illusion. No matter how much we try to manage every detail, life has its own rhythm, its own timing, its own way of unfolding. And sometimes the best thing we can do is trust that whatever is meant for us will find its way. Letting go means releasing the need for things to be different than they are. It means accepting people for who they are instead of trying to change them. It means making peace with uncertainty instead of trying to predict every possible outcome. It means freeing yourself from the weight of what was so you can step fully into what is. There is freedom in surrender. When you stop resisting, you make room for clarity. When you stop fighting what you cannot change, you reclaim all the energy you once spent on worry, fear, and frustration. That energy can now be used to build, to heal, to grow. Instead of focusing on what is out of your hands, you begin to pour into what is within your reach. Your mindset, your choices, your attitude, your purpose. Not everything is meant to be controlled. Not every battle is meant to be fought. Not every situation needs your reaction. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is take a deep breath, release your grip, and trust that life has a way of unfolding exactly as it should. Growth is not something that happens by accident. It is a choice, a commitment, a daily decision to become better than you were yesterday. Too often, people wait for life to change before they decide to grow. But real transformation happens when you take responsibility for your own evolution. No one else is going to do it for you. If you want to become stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled, you have to be willing to put in the work. Your mind is your greatest asset. What you feed it determines what you create in your life. Every book you read, every skill you learn, every meaningful conversation you engage in adds to your growth. If you stop learning, you stop expanding. And when you stop expanding, you begin to feel stuck. The difference between those who evolve and those who remain stagnant is simple. One group continuously seeks knowledge, while the other believes they already know enough. Time spent on personal growth is never wasted. Every moment you invest in yourself, whether it's through reading, meditating, practicing a craft, or challenging your own beliefs, moves you closer to the person you are meant to be. People say they don't have time, but the truth is, they don't make time. They prioritize distractions over development. But what you prioritize shapes your future, and if you don't make space for your own growth, life will make space for your regret. Investing in yourself means stepping outside of your comfort zone. Growth does not happen in places that feel safe and familiar. It happens when you challenge yourself, when you take risks, when you push beyond the limits of what you thought you were capable of. Fear will try to keep you small, but discomfort is a sign that you are stretching, expanding, evolving. The more you embrace it, the more you grow. Surround yourself with people who inspire your growth. Energy is contagious, and the company you keep influences the person you become. If you spend your time with those who have no ambition, no desire to improve, no hunger for more, you will find yourself shrinking to fit into their world. But when you surround yourself with people who challenge you, who push you to think bigger, who encourage your evolution, you step into an environment that fuels your expansion. Growth is also about unlearning. It's about letting go of outdated beliefs, toxic habits, and limiting mindsets that no longer serve you. Sometimes the biggest investment you can make in yourself is releasing the things that are holding you back. Growth is not just about adding more, it's about clearing space for what truly aligns with the life you want to create. There is no finish line in personal growth. You will never reach a point where you have learned everything, healed everything, or perfected everything. The goal is not perfection, the goal is progress. The more you grow, the more you realize how much more there is to learn, how much deeper you can go, how much more potential is waiting to be tapped into. Growth is a lifelong journey, not a one-time achievement. The best investment you will ever make is the one you make in yourself. Every skill you sharpen, every lesson you learn, every challenge you embrace is a deposit into your future. You are your greatest asset, and the more you invest in your own evolution, the more valuable you become, not just to the world, but to yourself. The energy you allow into your life shapes the way you think, feel, and move through the world. Every conversation you have, every environment you step into, every piece of content you consume has an impact on your mindset. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, and drama, it becomes difficult to see possibilities, to feel inspired, to believe in yourself. But when you surround yourself with positivity, your perspective shifts, your confidence grows, and your life begins to reflect that energy. People carry energy, and that energy is contagious. Have you ever noticed how spending time with certain people leaves you feeling drained while others lift your spirit? Some people bring problems, others bring solutions. Some focus on what's missing, others focus on what's possible. Being mindful of who you allow into your space is one of the most important acts of self-care. If someone constantly brings negativity into your life, it's not your responsibility to fix them, it's your responsibility to protect your peace. Your environment influences your mindset. If you are always in spaces filled with complaining, gossip, and fear, that energy will seep into you. If you are in environments that encourage growth, learning, and joy, you will feel empowered to reach for more. The places you spend your time, the conversations you engage in, and even the media you consume all play a role in shaping your thoughts. If you want to elevate your life, you have to start by elevating your surroundings. Positivity is not about ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on what you can control rather than dwelling on what you can't. It's about looking for solutions instead of fixating on problems. It's about training your mind to see possibilities where others see roadblocks. Life will always have challenges, but your response to those challenges is what makes the difference. The words you speak carry power. If you constantly tell yourself that things won't work out, that you're not good enough, that life is against you, those words will become your reality. But if you choose to speak with intention, to affirm your growth, to declare possibility, you shift your energy. The way you talk to yourself matters just as much as the way others talk to you. Your inner voice should be your greatest source of encouragement, not your biggest critic. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forms of positivity. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you create a mindset of abundance. Every day there is something to appreciate, a lesson learned, a small victory, a moment of peace. The more you train your mind to recognize the good, the more good you will attract. Gratitude does not mean ignoring hardships. It means choosing to see the light even in difficult moments. Surrounding yourself with positivity also means being that source of light for others. Just as you seek uplifting people in your life, strive to be someone who brings encouragement, inspiration, and hope. The energy you give out is the energy you receive. When you operate from a place of kindness, optimism, and possibility, you naturally attract people who reflect that same energy back to you. The more intentional you are about the energy you allow into your life, the more aligned you become with the life you truly want to live. Positivity is not something you wait for, it is something you choose, something you create, something you surround yourself with until it becomes the very foundation of who you are. Too many people move through life as if they are just background characters in someone else's story. They shrink themselves, play it safe, and wait for permission to take up space. They let other people's expectations dictate their choices, let fear silence their voices, and let life happen to them instead of making life happen for them. But the moment you decide to become the main character of your own life, everything changes. You stop waiting, you stop apologizing, and you start living with intention. Being the main character doesn't mean being perfect. It means stepping fully into who you are, flaws and all. It means owning your story, the struggles, the triumphs, the messy in between. It means realizing that you are not here to blend in, to dim your light, or to fit into a version of yourself that makes other people comfortable. You are here to be bold, to be seen, to take up space without asking for permission. Main characters do not let life pass them by. They create their own paths. They take risks, follow their passions, and chase dreams that others might call impossible. They understand that fear is a part of the journey, but they refuse to let it be in the driver's seat. They make decisions based on what excites them, not what others expect of them. They do not sit on the sidelines waiting for the perfect moment because they know that the perfect moment is the one they choose to take action. So many people live for the approval of others, afraid to disappoint, afraid to be judged. But main characters do not live for the applause. They live for the story. They understand that not everyone will agree with their choices, and that's okay. They know that the only validation that truly matters is the one that comes from within. The more you trust yourself, the less you will need permission from the world to be who you are. Owning your story means embracing every chapter, the highs, the lows, the setbacks, and the breakthroughs. It means understanding that you are constantly evolving, that you are allowed to change, that you do not have to stay stuck in the version of yourself that others have come to expect. Main characters do not let their past define them. They use it as fuel to write the next chapter with even more intention. Becoming the main character also means surrounding yourself with the right supporting cast. The people you allow into your life should inspire, uplift, and challenge you to grow. A strong main character does not waste time on relationships that drain their energy or environments that make them feel small. They choose to be around those who encourage them to step fully into their power. Every main character has moments of doubt, moments where they question their path. But what sets them apart is that they keep going anyway. They know that growth happens outside of their comfort zone, that failure is just a plot twist, and that setbacks are part of the journey. They do not give up when things get hard. They rewrite the story, shift their mindset, and move forward with even greater determination. This is your life, your story, your journey. You are not here to play a minor role. You are not here to live according to someone else's script. The moment you step into the main character energy, you reclaim your power. You start making choices that align with your dreams, your purpose, your vision. You stop waiting for the perfect opportunity and realize that you are the opportunity.